G'day everyone and welcome to our Killer Storyteller Christmas special. Yes, this is our final episode for 2025 and we are in the Christmas mood, everyone. Can you tell? So strap in, folks, because we are getting loose today. Yes, that's right. I've already cracked open the Baileys, which is my all-time favourite. But listen up, everyone. Can I please have your attention? This is important because this is our Christmas breakup party and you, our brilliant listeners, are invited. Okay, let me introduce to the mic my international partner in pod all the way from the UK who is waiting patiently under the mistletoe for her hubby to come along and give her a big fat smooch. It's best-selling million-copy UK crime queen, author and all-round bloody legend, Rachel Lynch. How you going, Rach?
Oh, hi, Christy. Oh, it's so brilliant to see you. And can you believe it? What a year we did it. Oh my God. I'm not sure about the mistletoe for hubby to come and give me a big fat smooch. You know, we've been married like 25 years or something, but Bailey's sounds good.
The Baileys. Love Baileys on ice.
So, oh my God, yeah. I can't actually believe it. And we're actually sat here recording our Christmas episode today. But sad as well, because, you know, I can't believe that 2025 is almost over, but we've done so much. You know, we've talked about so many books, haven't we? We've had our first guest, and we've got more guests lined up for 2026, which we will announce in the new year. But today we're not discussing a particular book. Sorry, guys, but not sorry. This is our Christmas breakup party. So I'm actually tempted to break open the rosé at 9 o'clock in the morning. Is it too early? Because it's not too early there in Melbourne, is it?
No, so it's 8:30 at night, and what is it, 9:30 in the morning for you, Rach?
Yeah, but you know what?
It's a Christmas party. You can do whatever you want.
Did I tell you I'm a writer? I've got a really good imagination.
No rules.
So, you know, yeah, things are getting a bit wild here in the UK, weather-wise. And, you know,
okay.
this is a touchy subject for me and Christy, because obviously you're just heating up, so we won't go there. But first, let's say a massive thank you to all our amazing listeners around the world and welcome to our Christmas special, our gift to you for being part of this brilliant journey. And on the Baileys note, have you ever made it? Have you ever made it?
How do you make it?
So I used to make it with my mum.
Are you serious?
It's actually, yeah. I don't think people do it anymore because it's raw eggs. Raw eggs, cream, whiskey, and something called camp coffee, which is like a liquid coffee. Oh my God, it's amazing. You have to drink it within 3 days.
Oh, okay. So because otherwise it goes off, or you can make it into a Bailey's omelette.
I bet that's what the Scottish do. We'll have to ask Marion.
Oh gosh. Oh, that sounds really disgusting, but totally drinkable.
I'll put you off.
Nah, Baileys, and also with some grated chocolate on top. Heaps and heaps of ice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, really delicious.
Have you tried Baileys in coffee though?
No.
Oh, that's great.
No, I haven't. Oh my God, I'm totally feeling like a Baileys now. We should be replacing a cup of tea with some Baileys. Oh God, absolutely love it. And Christmas time is time to drink Baileys. So,
isn't it?
Southern Hemisphere, it's hot, so heaps of ice. But in the Northern Hemisphere, you have it nice, you know, around the fire, singing Christmas carols.
Is that the image you've got of us Brits sat around the fire drinking and singing Christmas carols? Oh my God, I love it.
It's like Love Actually.
Oh yeah, that's totally what we're all like. Yeah, absolutely.
But we're all like Kath and Kim.
You haven't helped me on the Barbie? Oh shit, was that a prawn? It's come next door.
Hey Rachel, let's chat about some of your new books that you've got coming out in the new year. You've got not one but 3 new book launches that are being released in early 2026. First Act is coming up first in January, and then Cruel Truth in April, and then The Gathering, which I didn't know the name of that, so I'm excited for that one, in the summer of 2026, so mid-year.
Yeah, and this is the publishing world for you. It's happened like that this year.
Wow.
So I've been working on the first one, First Act, for a long time. It's coming out in hardback, my first hardback. which is so exciting. And that's like been in discussion for about 2 years now, because there hasn't actually been a Kelly out for a long time. It's been over 18 months.
Right.
And so it's really lovely to reassure Kelly fans, on social media and here that, that number 13 is coming. And some people are just starting the series. Some people are halfway through. Some people are like waiting, for number 13 to come out. And I really hope that the Kelly fans really connect with First Act, which is a prequel, and it's when she is first qualified in London in 2008, and that's her first murder squad experience. So that was really fun to write, because I used to live in London around that time in the East End, so I kind of drew on that experience. And then number 13, hot on the heels, is coming out in the spring, Cruel Truth.
Wow.
And I'm so excited about that.
Yeah.
But The Gathering is another standalone. So when that comes out in the summer, that's not a Kelly. That is actually one of my standalones. And it's set in a Scottish castle. So it is. I'm desperate for Marion to read it and approve, because that's her backyard and that's her territory. So I just hope I've done that justice.
It's not set in St Andrews, is it?
No, it's not. It's in the Highlands. So I would never step on Marion's, territory of St Andrews. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to pull that one off. So it's a castle in the middle of nowhere, and it's a family who go back there for a celebration, reunion, and obviously, things start to go south pretty quickly. So that was really good fun to write. So yeah, they're all coming out in the new year.
Wow, you're going to have such a big year next year.
Yeah.
But I've also had the pleasure of reading an uncorrected proof of First Act. So it was a pre-release of the prequel, which was quite amusing.
A prequel.
But it's such a brilliant book, and I cannot wait to chat about this once it's released, because Rachel Lynch, I have questions, so many questions for you, and all I can say is it's bloody awesome. I've totally loved it, and I read it so quickly, and I can't wait for the public and your audience to read it really, really soon.
Oh, I'm absolutely thrilled. Every single book that comes out, I'm just as nervous.
Are you?
As the first, that is, people are going to like it. So for you to say that, Christy, is absolutely brilliant. And maybe we can, we will be discussing that on a podcast, won't we? We'll make
definitely
about First Act shortly after it's released. Say the early reviews are really, really brilliant, which is great, because they mean so much. And just people taking the time to read your book and then to send a message to the publisher in time for the launch date, so maybe they can use that on social media, or it might be time to do a grab and put it in the actual the paperback, which comes out later in the year.
Okay, so hardback comes out first.
Yeah,
right.
And like I said, it's different. Because it's London 2008, but it's not just that. It's an inexperienced Kelly. She's still got that nose.
Yes.
And the particular crimes that I've sort of created for this one is, think sort of, without giving too much away, think sort of a murderer hell bent on getting attention by leaving chilling calling cards in the form of beloved childhood puppets. And so it's familiar, because we all know those childhood characters, which makes it more chilling, because I've used them in a way that they obviously they shouldn't be used. So I think it was Marion who she read a prequel as well, and she was the one who said, this is why it's so chilling, because it's so familiar in a lovely way, but the way that it's been sort of twisted makes it hair standing up territory. Yeah. So the early reviews have been brilliant. But this Christmas special, though, Christy, are there any topics that we missed out in 2025 because we did so much, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We did absolutely heaps. Um, but one of the topics that I'm really interested in is what's involved in a book launch and what typically happens on a new release. So I've seen the Novel Tours Bookstagram promotion. What's that, Rach?
Yeah, I mean, it's a sign of the times, really, because everything's done online now. Publishing is changing rapidly, and they've got to catch up. Like Bookstagram, Book Talk.
Yeah,
Only recently, it was massive in the news here. There was a TikTok star who he got something. He got millions of hits on his TikTok, and he got a publishing deal on the back of it. And I think good luck to him. I love innovation in any industry, but the big publishing houses, like any big traditional establishment industries, are always slow to catch up. And it's the same with launches. So the Bookstagram tour is like me going on tour. In the old days, I'd be taken round, in a cab or whatever, and I'd be put up in hotels, and I'd be given my food, and I'd meet all the people who are going to interview me. Well, now this is done online by Bookstagrammers. So they're
right,
bloggers with thousands of followers who love books, and the publisher sends them the book, and then they post online about it. So this
right.
is a new way of doing a book tour. It's the same with launches. You asked about launches.
Yeah,
Um, and so launches now, it really, I've got to say, and me and Marion touched on this in the last podcast, it's only celebrities that get that star treatment anymore because they cost a lot of money. That sort of warm wine experience on
yeah.
Bridget Jones, where she stands up and introduces Mr. Tits Pervert. One of those days, sadly, because that would have been quite cool. And a bit Love Actually, isn't it? That bit as well. So yeah, authors. It probably come as a surprise to you, but a lot of authors pay for their own launches, and it is like a party to invite their friends and family and just have a little celebration. And they provide all the wine and the nibbles, and maybe a special cake with their book cover on it,
Oh, yep,
and
yep.
everybody turns up, and it's lovely, and it's a great celebration. But they're not seen anymore as fundamental to the publishing world, because whereas before you would invite all the press and you'd invite all the movers and shakers, well, you do that online now through meetings, so it's not cost effective.
Right. So there'll be the Bookstagram promo, and is Canelo doing something for the launch of the book as well? Or is that something that you need to organise?
Yeah, and that's not, it's the personal thing, and that's not my thing really. I've never done a book launch,
Okay.
um, just because it's that writer imposter syndrome where all the attention would be on you, and I sort of, that makes me cringe a bit. The idea of standing up in the middle of Waterstones and
Yeah.
just saying that sort of Bridget Jones moment.
Yeah.
That's not really me. I love engaging with people more on a personal level rather than addressing, a room full of people and say, buy my book. I much prefer engaging with people
Yep.
online
Yep.
on a one-to-one, or doing things like this, having a chat. Maybe we have discussed doing an online launch, haven't we? So I
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
you've done loads of those. But I mean, Canelo have been working for a year on this. They'll
Yep.
they'll be doing visuals,
Yep.
clever promo videos, meetings behind the scenes, trying to get it into supermarkets, and all of the fruits of that really, really hard work that nobody sees.
Yep.
That will happen on the 29th of January when the book comes out. So the whole team behind the scenes been doing all of this, marketing work, but you just don't see it. And
So
so
interesting.
yeah, so the model has changed, and actually, I don't mind that this industry, like all creative industries, can be ego heavy, but I learned a long time ago that doesn't sell books. So just actually writing them, producing them, and engaging with people online, that
Yeah.
generally is what sells books.
And you have such an engaged audience. We see that with the podcast and all of the social comments, and we've connected with so many of your amazing, amazing followers and your audience. Now, you've got a question for me. Where am I up to on the books?
Yeah, because I know it probably comes quite as a surprise to some people that when we do the podcasts, I have to go back and reread the titles because, I've forgotten all the characters. It's
Yeah.
so long ago, like Dark Game was 2000. Oh, well, I wrote it in 2016.
Yes.
So it's,
10 years.
it's
Yeah,
coming
nearly
up
10
10
years.
years. And so I've just actually reread Little Doubt. And I think you did as well, didn't you?
I did, and that's the one I just cannot wait to discuss. But it'll be next year because we've got a couple of books to go before we get to Little Doubt. But it was just a page turner. I inhaled it. I read it in a couple of days, and we were just discussing off air how different it was. I don't want to give it away, but it was very, very different, and I absolutely loved that story. So, and I've just finished reading that. But what I wanted to say is I just finished listening to Dark Game on Spotify audio. It was the audio book. And so that's book number 1 in the D.I. Kelly Porter series. And it kind of took me aback. And let me tell you why, Rach, because this book is beautifully narrated by Claire Cassane. And I have to say, she kind of sounds a little bit like you, Rach, really lovely. Same accent. But for me, it was Kelly's voice. It was so different to what's in my head, and Johnny's too, because I realise I read in an Aussie accent, right? Not a Northerner accent. If I read in a Northerner accent, I'd never finish the book because I'd be just pissing myself laughing.
Oh my God, that's too funny.
But it was really, really cool bringing them to life, kind of, do you know what I mean? Sort of like in my head. But it was a really lovely surprise. And I wonder if our international listeners feel the same. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I've read so many D.I. Kelly Porter books now. I feel like I know the character well, but hearing her voice was something else. I really liked it.
That is so funny. These are the things that you don't even think about. Because I've met Claire. I went into London, into the studio to listen to her
Did
narrate.
you?
Yeah. And she is, oh my God, she's gorgeous. But when you say that she sounds like me, when I clear an audio, and for my standalones, it's quite tricky because they're all really different, you can imagine. And they send me audios of actresses and I choose one.
Oh, right.
And I chose Claire out of quite a few. And yeah, we are very, very similar sounding. And when we first met each other, we fell about because we both said hi. And we were like, oh my God, you're Kelly. And she's like, no, you're Kelly. It was just so funny. So yeah. And because obviously I write in my head, in my voice.
Yeah.
Not
G'day, D.I. Kelly Porter. How's it going?
Exactly. So that was quite a shock. But I reread Dark Game recently too.
Yeah.
And oh my God, it was so nostalgic.
It's a good book.
Not only are the bits of it from where I grew up near Barrow-in-Furness, which is where Darren Beckett's from, but it just threw me back into that world where she just moved from London.
Oh, sorry, Darren Beckett.
Oh, Darren.
Good old Darren.
And it was a real trip down memory lane. It was like going to see an old friend.
Yeah.
I really loved the whole experience. I sort of sat there tittering away, and my husband's like, "What are you reading?" I'm like, "I'm reading my own book."
This old thing.
This old rag.
I know, it's an incredible book. So I've just finished listening to it on audio, and the storyline is unreal. And then I wondered, Rach, with you rereading the book, do you kind of go, oh, I should have done that with that character, or I could bring that one back from, he's Sasha, who's gone. We don't know where Sasha went, but he could
We
come
don't
back
know where
in other
Sasha
books.
went. He hasn't come back yet, has he? Yeah, and all the time, and I get messages like this on social media as well. It's like, oh, are you gonna bring them back? Because that character was amazing. Are you gonna bring them back? And I try and jot down these notes,
Yeah.
and I think where I can fit them in, because I love doing that. Things
Yeah.
like maybe a present that Ted's bought Kelly. maybe bring that in, or something that Lizzie's done a bit later on down the line. So yeah, I do all the time, but it's also can be a negative experience as well, in the sense that all writers will want to go back and edit their work, because editorial is just something that just goes round and round and round your head. So also when I go back, I think, oh God, I should have done that, and I should have said that, and I could have developed this, I could have said that in a slightly different way. So I'm critiquing myself at the same time as well, which is, I guess all writers do that. And I can remember my publisher saying to me, I think every single writer on the planet would love to go back and edit their earlier work.
Yeah.
It's so true.
As I was just saying, I've just finished reading Little Doubt, which is book 7, and this absolutely blew me away, this book, and I think it's my new favourite. So Sorry to the Rich, which was my favourite. Actually, there was a massive question that has been answered for me in Little Doubt. So there's no spoiler here, but just putting it out there to you guys. And it just answered a massive, massive question. It sounds cryptic, I know, but you guys, you'll just have to read it and then you'll know what I'm talking about. What else is I going to say? But I've just started reading Lost Cause, yeah. So both of those books we'll be chatting about in the new year, so cannot wait.
Like I said, when I go back, I get, I write like you. I write new notes, and because they're all slightly different. They're all not just the crimes, but the characters. Because I always like, as you know, to create a whole new cast of baddies. And yeah, I'm so looking forward to to talking more about them in 2026, and talking about number 7, which is Little Doubt, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kelly's so self-assured and kick-ass now.
Yeah.
Compared to Dark Game, she went there, didn't she, with her tail between her legs, because Matt the Twat had done the dirty on her, and she didn't know where she fitted in. So by number 7, she's in her stride, isn't she? And I love her. I loved her in Little Doubt. I loved the gritty rawness in Dark Game, and you'll see more of that in first act. Her sort of instinct as a young 20-something year old. But yeah, by number 7, I love her. And also what I loved about Little Doubt was it really gave a different perspective on the Lake District, because I really channeled my urban, because I created this housing estate, so there was less of the rolling beauty and the darkness behind that, and it was all about high-rise flats, which was so important to the story. So it really complemented it.
There were little glimmers of that, though, like the we're not going to go into it too much detail, but you're talking about that it's in the background, it's overpowering over the housing estate. So but it's not like a character like it normally is. One thing I know for sure, Rach, we are never ever going to run out of material with you, because plus with your new unannounced combo book of all the baddies, which is going to be a comedy, is coming soon.
This like a Squid Game style competition between all the baddies. But you know what? My money's on Alex Moore from The Rich to take them all out.
Yeah.
Do you know the game Cat's Cradle, the kids' game Cat's Cradle?
I had to Google it today.
Okay. This is the image I've got in my head. Yeah, with the wool.
Yes.
So if you watch this on YouTube, you get the wool, and you're basically making a cradle. It's a bit like knitting or crocheting, and you're making a cradle, and you trap your opponent. And for some reason, when we talked about all of my baddies in the same room, trapping them in a game like web, just popped into my head.
Nedzad.
Yeah. But going all the way back to the beginning, like Nedzad, so many of them. But yeah, let's remember how we got here, Christy, from page to podcast, our killer year of reflection.
We want to take a moment to reflect on our epic year so far. For all our new listeners, welcome. The Killer Storyteller Podcast actually began, well, the podcast officially launched in March 2025 this year, but the story starts way earlier. About 18 months before that, Rachel and I were already tossing around the idea of bringing her books to life in a podcast. And honestly, it started when my cousin Ben gifted me Bold Lies as a KK present. And that sets something off in my brain like, hang on, why aren't we talking about this on mic? So since then, we've been on the biggest learning curve for both of us, but for completely different reasons. Rachel's been navigating the wild world of podcasting with mics, platforms, editing notes, and all the techie bits she absolutely did not sign up for as an awesome author. That's hard to say. And me, I've been diving deeper into the books than ever, reading and rereading, taking notes, trying to understand every detail so I don't sound like a total amateur on the podcast. Seriously, it's a thing.
Yeah, no, I do not believe that for a second.
We've had some hilarious moments, so much laughter that never makes it to air. And then there's the stuff like finessing edits, wrangling time zones, setting up platforms, Apple Podcasts, don't get me started, and all the setup of a brand new podcast. But honestly, Rach, I think we found our rhythm as co-hosts right from the get-go at episode 1. Wouldn't you agree?
Honestly, Christy, the only thing that I think, that you could point out is that people listening might think that we're talking about comedy books. I mean, this is just, I just love chatting, about everything about, the process and being an author, you being a reader, and we just have so much fun. But I was like a rabbit in headlights. I didn't know what to expect. I'd never done a podcast before. I never thought I'd be navigating, buying super duper mic covers. At first I had a sock over it. Multi-screen grabs, that sounds like an operation. Google Drives, show notes. But behind the scenes, that is where the fun starts and never stops. And it's just the heartbeat of the whole thing. And the time zone, we make it work because we love it, don't we?
We do, yeah.
And the podcast is meant to be an accessory to my books, and you can jump in anywhere. But it's actually ended up so much more than that. And we just hope that you love our banter as much as we do. Because, we talk about the books, but really it's about the people. And that's what me and Christy love talking about. So, of course, it ends up being funny because that's life, isn't it? And you don't have to listen in order, just like you don't have to read the Kelly books in order. I've got standalones, right. I've got the Kelly Porter series. And the beauty is people just dip in, however they want. And we still haven't even talked about Helen Scott, Christy.
No.
The Wrench, the Rift and the Line. Helen Scott, the military policewoman. She's nicknamed the Wrench because she gets everything done. But you'll love her. But it quickly became apparent that the books are what shaped the pod. But what we really love is the murdery chat. We've got Mel Steele to thank for that. That murdery. He came up with that, didn't he?
I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah.
Mel is the guy who actually produced our original sound theme tune to the pod and the graphics as well. So shout out to Mel. He's amazing. And we're so fortunate to have original music. And this is a perfect example. We just can't keep to the script because we just love what we do. And honestly, your messages, your DMs, your love for the books and for the pod is just the icing on the cake for us. And every time me and Christy talk through a book, I rediscover new layers from a different point of view. And that just absolutely sets my imagination on fire. I love it. And that's the real magic. And if our listeners come along for the ride and get the same buzz, then that is all that matters to us. So thank you. So we've recorded 12 episodes so far. I cannot believe it. But they haven't all been about a book. Because we've tried to mix it up a bit and keep the pod evolving and interesting to you, the audience. So Dark Game is book 1 in the Kelly Porter series, but it was actually our 4th episode. So in between discussing books and having our first guest, we've discussed the backstory of Kelly, the writing process, and having the amazing Marion Todd on, Scottish author of the Claire Mackay series. That was brilliant. And Christy, you came up with the idea of two authors, one mic.
Yeah.
We never shut up though.
It'd be really, really long podcast.
Yeah.
And then I thought of a joke. An Aussie, an Englishwoman, and a Scotswoman walk into a bookshop armed with a microphone and a pen and leave with a body count, a plot twist, and 3 new books.
Yeah. And if Marion's so inclined, she's in a bad mood, maybe a few dead bodies along the way, watch out. That was an epic episode, wasn't it? And looking back on all we've done and what we've still got up our sleeves, it's so exciting. So have you got any favourites, Christy?
Yeah, well, I have to go straight to The Rich because we had our sealed section in there, and we also had a chapter reading by you, Rach, which we will do some more in the new year when we get around to it. It's just so much to do. But The Rich, because I just love that book so much, and I loved picking your brain about that, the storyline. So that was definitely one of mine. But I think the first one, Rach, episode 1 was like our welcome episode, and it was just like, you know what, we're just going to do this. We're not going to wait for anyone, or we're just going to crack on and do it. And we've just cracked on and we've done it, and we're recording our 12th episode today. So we didn't kind of over think it or over analyze anything. Just like, no, let's just jump in and do it. And we did. So I'm super proud of us for just doing that. So that was also my favourite episode as well.
Yeah. And look at us now. Amazing. Yeah. So yeah, I think for me, looking back over all of them, I think Deep Fear stands out for me because, you know, we got to talk about the Lakeland poets. I really, really loved that. And I think that was episode 2. And then episode 10 stands out for me as well on Bold Lies, you know, discussing the big plot of, you know, deep state and big pharma corruption. That really got me excited. Yeah, but I've loved all of them. Let us talk about the legend of Google and ChatGPT, because every podcast we try and have a little section, don't we, on I had to Google this. And just proof that we're both learning on the job constantly.
Oh, absolutely. So somewhere in between reading your books and trying to sound like I know what I'm talking about, each book I end up Googling a lot of things, like an embarrassing amount, like Cats in the Cradle.
Cats in the Cradle?
What are we talking about?
Cats Cradle.
For example.
Cats Caramel from Cartmore.
So
I just Kim, say that. Cats Caramel from Cartmore with Kath and Kim.
Yeah, I discovered the 3 Dodds challenge isn't a medieval family feud, but an actual Lake District hike. And I learned that soporific eggs don't mean fancy eggs, and gritters mean mountain climbers. And finally, I now know the true meaning to a bell end, and I'm embarrassed to say it's got nothing to do with church bells. I had to take down one of our social posts because I got so much. Do you know what a bell end is? I'm like, not really.
Oh my God, that's so funny. But do you know, editors their hair must curl, because these are the types of like local colloquialisms that they flag up, and they must be wetting themselves, but they've got to put a serious flag in the text saying, do you think all of your readers around the world will know what a bell end is? They've got to put a really serious tag in. So it would be quite funny actually to put some of them in just to see if the editors pick it up.
Yeah.
Had time.
Sorry to interrupt. I had a girlfriend contact me. She's English, but she lives here in Australia. She's like, Christy, do you actually know what a bell end is? You know, it's a knob.
Well, it's a knobby person, to be fair, although they behave like an absolute knob. Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny.
Your toes. This is where I get really nerdy because
Yeah.
I just love the crazy research. That is my bread and butter. And that's where my stories come from, is researching something really, really random. And that's like a job in itself. So I see myself as a writer, an editor, um, a not very good social media promoter, and a researcher. And I think researching is probably my favorite.
Mm.
'Cause that's where I get the juices going, and like, think antique boats, low cards exchange principle, what really goes on in an autopsy, the hyoid bone, which is incredibly important when you're discussing, cause of death, pitaki, which is the red marks that you get in the eye, if there's been pressure
Ah.
applied to the neck, the rod of Asclepius. And funnily enough, I took my daughter to Cos in the summer for a little girly trip, and I didn't know, but I didn't realise, but Hippocrates was actually from Cos, and there's a big statue to him there, and he is holding the rod of Asclepius. So I was, 38 degrees of heat, me and Tilly are sweating, and I'm like, oh wow, I didn't realise Hippocrates was born on Cos. So, and she looks at me, because she's 20, so she's gone through 20 years of historical commentary on family holidays, and I'm like, she's like, don't do it, Mum, don't do it. But I did take a few pictures. So this is the sort of thing that gets me really excited. I should get an honorary diploma in anatomy and physiology for dummies. But actually, I had one because I'm a sports massage therapist, so I had to pass anatomy and physiology. Fun fact. So when I was a personal trainer, I decided to do the sports massage as well, and we had to do anatomy and physiology. So that is really where my fascination comes from, because when I did that diploma, I just, I had to dive into the human body, and it just absolutely fascinates me. Forensics have always fascinated me. I think in a second life, I'd either be a chef or a forensic scientist. So this is where Ted comes from. I live vicariously through Ted.
Yeah, because the autopsy scenes are just epic in all the books. They're so incredible.
So what else was there that really got your mind noodled, Christy?
There's just so many, and I could only fit a couple in here. But like you said, the cultural confusions for me: Cartmel sticky toffee pudding, and I thought Cartmel was a typo in the book. Kendall mint cake, it's not actually cake. And the tiny shingle beaches, it's just lots of rocks and rocks and rocks and rocks. And then also Hobson's choice is a really classy way of saying you get what you get. Right?
Brilliant.
Plus Hermes, Amazzoni, and Cecil Rhodes. So I've got a lot to thank you, Rachel Lynch. I've learned so many random facts this year.
You're welcome.
All right, this is our Christmas special, Rach. What about Kelly Porter's Christmas? Book 4, Bitter Edge, and Little Doubt, Book 7, have references to Christmas. But because this is our Christmas edition, I want to reflect on 2 books that I've read so far that feature being set at Christmas, and that is Bitter Edge and Little Doubt. The ending to Bitter Edge is unbelievably cool. I just loved it so much. And if you read it, you'll know what I mean. It's a super awesome way to finish the book in more ways than one.
Oh, this is, yeah, I realised, when you said this about the Christmas setting, that I've only done it twice, and actually I'd really like to do it again. Maybe a Christmas special. Kelly's a good time girl. She enjoys a drink. She's a northern lass. So, her thinking about her traditional family Christmas, would be the classic normal stuff with Johnny that we see in Bitter Edge and Little Doubt. She goes to the fair, she's drinking, mulled wine, and they're all wrapped up, in their hats and their scarves. And you can feel the cold. And I think there's so many moments in those books where you can really feel the cold, like the cemetery, in Little Doubt. No, I'm getting confused, isn't it? It's Lost Cause.
Yep.
Is the snow in the cemetery. You see, I've written them and I get confused. And she being a detective. She's always working over the holidays, isn't she? So she's that always enables me to balance her duty with her emotions and her family. You know, we've talked about this on the podcast before, that lovely balance that I like to have between her personal life
Yeah.
and her being a detective. You know, and I can really visualize, you know, Johnny and Ted, and then back in Bitter Edge, you've got, you know, Wendy and Josie all coming
Yep.
around for Christmas. And you can imagine the fire roaring like you would see in any Lake District pub at Christmas. But obviously it all gets cut short because there's a new case. So it's a very, you know, small, intimate moment. But that's not all that goes wrong, because she's terribly worried about her mum as well, isn't she? And then you've got Little Doubt, which is fast forward quite a
Yep.
few years later. Christmas Day is quite different for her. But again, it just enabled me, you know, to balance that family time, you know, with the plot. And, you know, she's got loads more people around her, a real sort of interesting mix. Coming in and out. She's more confident, isn't she? So, you know, her doors are thrown open.
Yeah.
And she's been in the lakes longer. And I think this is a running theme, isn't it? As she sort of gets more confident, she behaves in slightly different ways. She's overcome a lot of doubters. She's not wasting any time. And there's a few things in her personal life that have happened that we won't talk about because it's a spoiler.
Yep.
It's a lovely sort of relationship, I think, between the setting and the season's really important, and between that and the crimes in the book. Did you pick that up? Did you sense that?
Yeah, Bitter Edge and Little Doubt set in Christmas time, they couldn't have been more opposite when we come to the Christmas scenes in them. They're so completely different. I loved Little Doubt, and the ending of it comes right at the very end when they're having the big Christmas celebration. It's a big scene and it's complex and there's lots of people in it, but yeah, I found that awesome. When I read that last line in that book, I'm just like, whoa, here we go.
Yeah,
So yeah, absolutely loved
yeah.
it.
I think the ending to a book is just as important as the opening.
Yeah,
There needs to be something there. You need to wrap up everything, but there needs to be something there that hints to another
yeah,
plot
definitely.
line.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we've discussed this in a previous episode where the final line was, Kelly believes that she actually finally does belong. After all, she
Yeah.
does belong, something along those lines, yeah. And the gifts at Christmas time also mean a lot. So the ring from Johnny to Kelly, which was his granny's, and the flip-flops that Johnny gets from Kelly, and a little trinket box from the fair that Kelly gets for Josie. But
Yeah.
little doubt there's a much different type of present.
Oh yeah, I mean the contrast, they really reflect the characters, don't they? So she gets a ruby ring and he gets flip flops, which is so perfect for both of them.
Yeah.
I think I've said this before, that in another book, I made the mistake, because I'm human, of saying that Johnny bought the ring for Kelly, and a fan contacted me and said, no, he didn't. It's his granny's. And I love that. I'm not offended at all when somebody points something like that out to me. I love it. I love that level of detail. And I'm like, yes, you're absolutely right. Okay, I'm on the blower to the publisher. Get that
Yep.
change. You also know that it doesn't matter what the festivities are, there's always something that is going to go wrong. And Christmas lunch is a perfect example of something that's going to get ruined.
Yeah.
But Bitter Edge in particular was inspired by the Charter Fair here in my hometown. And I'm a very, I don't know what you'd call it, I'm a very sort of sensual writer, in the sense that I like to smell stuff, I like to feel stuff, I like to hear stuff and see it. And that's how I write. I write very visually.
Yep.
And so the smells of that fair, you know, they're so wintry, the caramel, the smoke, the darkness, the flashing lights, the dangers behind the glitz of the, you know, adrenaline junkie rides, the characters that are manning the rides. That was so evocative to me. And to start with an idea like that is something that I often do. The setting in Little Doubt, by the way, is completely made up. I did get a very irate reader complaining that there are no high-rise flats in Penrith, And I had to apologise profusely and say this is just my imagination, because I do appreciate that. But I did need that for the plot. I don't often change my beautiful Cumbria, but this was just a small exception.
At the front of your book, you have like a little disclaimer that says, that this is all fictional and made up.
Yeah,
And
that readers take it, in different levels of seriousness. I had one reader reach out to me and say, I was really thinking about visiting Cumbria, but I don't think I will now if this is what it's like. So
God.
some people take it quite seriously, which is great as well.
Yeah.
But you can't please everybody. That's one thing that I've learned.
It's the same as Australia. If you come to Australia, you're not going to get attacked by a snake or a spider or eaten by a shark.
Can I have that in writing? Do you realise when I come and see you, I'm not going in the sea?
Bullshit. You will.
You'll have to get me pissed on Baileys and then I'll go in. La 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 la. Come on, Jaws. Give me your worst.
Catch me if you can. Oh dear. All right. I'm going to call you Christy.
Christmas.
We're almost twins because we're almost born on the same day. So we're just twins from another mother.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Christmas and our birthday traditions, Rach. What's on the menu and what's on the plan for you guys?
Yeah, so obviously my Christmas was ruined the moment I was born, because it was on Christmas Day. So all the joint presents from aunties, everybody else gets 50p in an envelope for birthday and Christmas. I get one at Christmas for Christmas and birthday. So I'm traumatised by it. But no, I love having my birthday at Christmas because it kind of prolongs the day. Do you find that on Boxing Day?
I kind of find on Boxing Day people are just done and they just can't give a shit. Yeah, so they just want to watch the cricket and just kick back and eat leftovers.
Yeah. So maybe it's better to have it on Christmas Day then. I do. Yeah. I mean, I don't know any different. I do love it. So midnight Christmas Eve, we will go to midnight mass in the local church and listen to the carols. It's just so, I don't know, it's just so peaceful and beautiful. I'm really looking forward to that. And we're having a quiet one this year because my son Freddie is doing a ski season in Japan.
Yep.
He's gone for the powder. He's having the time of his life. So there's the three of us this year. So it's going to be quite different. Hoping for snow. We do often get snow at Christmas. Lots of dog walks. Main event this year is going to be a goose. We do separate birthday and Christmas presents. There's not very long in between. We do Christmas, and then like 5 minutes later, I'm like, right, can I have your birthday presents now? Lots of years we've been off skiing or walking in the Lake District.
Right.
Christmas in the Lake District is so cool because you'd think it'd be a massive time for tourists, but it's not. It's really quiet.
So it's a good time to come.
Yeah. So apart from that, it'd be like chocolate, mulled wine, cheesy party games, old classic cheesy films, roaring fires. And if it does snow, there's some sort of hills near us. We could take the sledge out. That'd be cool. What about you?
That sounds so fun. It sounds so Christmassy.
Yeah.
Christmas Day and then Boxing Day is my birthday. So last year we did something really different, and we, Howie, my partner and I, we went away for Christmas and went to the beach, and that was super lovely. So this year we're doing something a little bit different again, and we're having fish and chips on Christmas Eve with my family. And but we're also taking some prawns and also my famous pesto pasta salad with cherry tomatoes and bocconcini. So that's something that my nieces and nephews absolutely love. So we're not allowed to come unless we bring a big bag of prawns, and they're already cooked prawns, and you just peel them and then dip them in a nice sauce to go with it. So each year we always take the prawns, and they're called Howie's prawns. They're not Christy and Howie's prawns, they're Howie's prawns. So the kids love it. So there'll be lots of swimming, backyard cricket, a game of consequences. I don't know if you know this game at all. It's a really old game, and we team up. We play in pairs, and you have a bit of paper and a pen, and then there's 5 questions, and you write down your answer, and then you fold over a little bit of paper and pass it around till you finish the 5 questions, and that becomes a really funny story when you unravel it and read it out.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
questions are like, what's her name? What's his name? Where did they meet? What did he do for a job? What did she do for a job? And we just go really, really silly, and it's incredibly funny. It's called Consequences.
Oh, I love that.
So we always play that in our family. And then on my birthday, Howie and I were just chatting about that. We're going to go for a bike ride, and then we'll go out for dinner. I think, Rach, if I call you on my birthday at the right time, it will be Christmas Day and your birthday. So maybe we can get the timing right.
It would be, yeah.
But if D.I. Kelly Porter could join us for Christmas lunch, what would she bring? Hopefully no pudding or mince pies. They're bloody gross.
I don't like mince pies is it the fruit? What is it?
Yeah, don't like that. But I love shortbread.
Ah, right.
Yeah,
Okay,
shortbread.
good. Yeah. I can give or take the pudding, although I think Mike would quite like one this year. Not sure about that. Kelly's a traditional girl. I think stuffing balls. Do you guys do stuffing balls? So it's like minced pork meat, and we roll it into balls with like a stuffing mix. So breadcrumbs, onions, herbs,
yum.
and we put dried apricots in ours, maybe some chestnuts, and then you bake them in the oven. And so, because for us, it's all the trimmings that go with them. You could actually forego the main bit of meat, and you could just have the trimmings, like pigs in blankets. So it's a sausage wrapped in bacon. It's called a pigs in blanket. So that sort of thing. Cauliflower cheese, cranberry sauce.
Yum.
And then on Boxing Day, on your birthday, it's all cold table leftovers with a baked ham, maybe. And I watched Nigella the other night, and she put treacle on her ham. And also you can do it with Coke. Have you ever heard of doing it with Coke?
Yeah, right.
Anyway, apparently it's amazing. It's like caramelly. And I'm thinking, Kelly would probably be the one to walk into the room and do a massive Brussels sprout fart and then leave and blame it on the dog or Lizzie. She needs a dog. I think she needs a dog.
Oh, well, you better get onto that. We always have pavlova.
Ah, nice. But it's a very summer thing, isn't it?
So that's what we'll be having as well. So somebody will bring the pav. I don't really like pav either.
Oh, don't you?
No.
Is it the meringue or is it the cream?
It's a cream on the inside. Yeah, I don't like that.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So I'll go fruit, cheese, sorbets, ice creams, all that sort of stuff. Heaps of chocolate. So yeah.
Oh, nice.
All right, Rach, we've looked backwards on this amazing year, and it's obvious this is the best crime fiction author reader podcast in the whole entire world because we're just getting started. So what's coming up in 2026?
So we've got 3 books coming out. Like we discussed earlier, just a crazy year it's going to be, but I'm so excited. So January 29th, first act in hardback will be released. And then in April, we've got Kelly Porter 13, which is called Cruel Truth. That'll be released. And the cover is gorgeous.
Is it?
And then this summer, The Gathering, my standalone set in a Scottish castle, will be released. So it's going to be an epic year. And I think probably our next pod is probably going to be maybe on first act. We might squeeze one in before then. But there's so much more to talk about and standalone books too. And we're also going to have more VIP guests. We're lining them up already. Loads of people who are up for it, really excited about it. So that's awesome. We're thinking about maybe a crime writing masterclass webinar sort of thing, styly. We've got the assassination game of all the baddies. Oh God, wouldn't that be so good though? Netflix, hello. And also something amazing happening with my Turkish publisher in Istanbul, which we will announce shortly. So stay tuned about that.
Yeah, heaps to look forward to in 2026.
Well, Christy, I think that brings us to the end of our Christmas special, doesn't it? Our Christmas wrap-up episode of the Killer Storyteller Podcast with me, Rachel Lynch. I just want to say the biggest thank you to all our Killer listeners. Your support this year has meant the world to us.
Yeah, absolutely, Rach. Every message, every DM, every share, we feel it. So over the holiday break, make sure you hit follow, leave us a review or pass the pod on to someone else who needs a new crime fiction obsession.
And from both of us, truly.
Sorry, I got the giggles in. I nearly said obsessioni.
Honestly, we haven't been drinking Baileys. We're just getting really sillies now. Sillies. And for both of us, truly thank you. It has been such a joy sharing my books with you and Christy's views of them. And we can't wait to bring you more in 2026.
Yeah, so from the Lake District in the UK and from Melbourne, Australia, we're wishing you a killer Christmas. That sounds weird, but you kind of know what I mean. Stay safe and keep diving into the books.
That's a great idea. Christmas special. Yeah, I need to do that. Definitely need to do that, where the bodies pile up faster than the mince pies, or they die of eating mince pies.
Yeah, I would too.
Don't forget, you can watch us, bloopers and all. They're my favourite bits. On our YouTube channel, or listen to on your favourite platform. Hit follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. All right, Christy,
Rach.
that's another. Oh my God, I thought that was a mistake. I thought I'd better just pretend I knew what I was doing. Go on.
Sorry. Alrighty, Rach, that's another killer ep in the bag. Are you feeling festive? Oh, hang on.
I am now.
I'm going to get festive.
Oh God, if you can't see us, we're just being absolute buffoons. Christy looks like baby Jesus. With the lights on, I've got tinsel on my head.
Okie doke, that's it for us. Have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and happy birthday to you, dear Rach. We'll see you all in 2026.
Bye, Christy, and Merry Christmas to you and everybody else, and happy birthday as well, Christy. Let's do that FaceTime. Bye.